Hey up, it's Steve from the Old Yorkshire Geek, and it's Friday night, which means it's Appointment with Fear night. And this week we're watching the Manitou, starring Tony Curtis. So let's hit the intro, and then we'll get on with it, shall we? I'm back. I was miles away then. Princess the cat is being naughty, aren't you? You're coming to interrupt us. Anyway, so as I said, it's the Manitou 1978 film starring Tony Curtis and Michael Ansara. It had a budget of about $3 million. It was directed by the late William Girdler. I think it was his 9th film, and he died, I think, before the film came out. He was scouting locations for his 10th film, and he was in a helicopter, and it crashed, and he died. So he's directed other films such as Grizzly, Day of the Animals, which is a good one, where Leslie Nielsen fights a bear, and what else has he done? A film called Baby. I think I've seen that. One, but I can't remember. And a few others. But anyway, so this was his final film, The Manitou, and his highest budgeted one at $3 million. And apparently it was a big hit at the time. I don't know what its box office was. I've tried looking it up, but I can't find it. So, but anyway, so let's get the film on. As usual, I'm not going to just play the film. We're just going to watch it in a series of stills. Might play the odd little bit, but I can't just play it because of copyright stuff and all that. Right, here we go. Right, here it is. By the way, I've got my soundboard on. Shall we see if anything works? I'll try some applause. Are you ready? Yay, it works. Hooray for the film. Right, anyway, where were we? Right, so the film should come on now. There we go, it'll do it now. Doing my skip frame. Are you ready? By the way, sorry for the quality of this. I've not been able to find. I've got DVD copy. This is DVD, DVD version. I've not been able to find a HD version. It's not on Amazon or anything like that. Not one that I can play anyway. You can buy, I think, Blu-rays of it, but the region 1 only, and I don't have a multi-region player. So, anyway, is this going to come on? Oh, there we go. It's the old Avco Embassy logo. I mentioned that a while ago, didn't I? With I think the howling. I says, "Ooh, back in the day, you always knew you're going to get a good film if you got the Avco Embassy logo." Anyway, so is it going to come on? Is it? See, sometimes the skip thing. Sometimes on some videos it like skips like 10 seconds or 20 seconds, and sometimes it like skips actual frames. I'm gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way and do it like that. There we go. Herman West and Melvin Simon present. I'll just keep it pressed down. Come on, get on with it. There you go. Filmed by William Girdler. That says recorder. We've got subtitles. There you go. The Manitou. See if you can't see it. Hang on. Let me move it over a bit. There you go. The Manitou. I don't know where to, because it's way over the right hand side of the screen, and I can't fit it. Obviously, I can't fit it because of the aspect ratio. I've got to try and find a happy medium. Anyway, right. So the film starts off. It's set in San Francisco. By the way, it's based on a novel by Graham Masterton, who's one of my favourite authors. He's written a gazillion books, and I've only read like a handful of them. One of my favourites is The Devils of D-Day, which sounds like a goofy title, but it's actually a really good book. And I did on my channel somewhere. I've put a link for it in the description. I did what they call it, a script treatment for Devils of D-Day for like a movie version of it, and I sent it to Graham Masterton, and he actually said he liked it, but he couldn't do anything about it because the film rights were all up in the air. So, but he said he did enjoy it. But it's on my website, and I did a video of me reading it through. So if you want to look at that, you can. What else has he done? Obviously, the Manitou was his first book. He did Return of the Manitou, which I've also read, which is really good. They're usually about demons, by the way, and his horror books. He's written a lot of other things as well, comedies and adult literature. What else? Did I say Tengu? That's a Japanese one, about a Japanese demon. Family Portrait, which is an interesting book. It's supposed to be about the family that Oscar Wilde based his Portrait of Dorian Gray on. But that's that one. Charnel House. I've read that one. I can't remember what happens in that one. It's been that long since I've read it. Heirloom, which is another one of my favourites, about a demon-possessed chair. That's a good one. The Pariah. I know I've read that one, but I can't remember what it's about. And Night Warriors, which I want. To be honest, I wasn't a big fan of that one. That was a bit not up to his usual standards, in my opinion. But he's written a million other books, and he's a great writer. Anyway, so we'll go through the cast credits there. We go Burgess Meredith as Dr. Snow, with a quirky performance. But I suppose that's to be expected from Burgess Meredith. Dee. So I'm doing the theme. Is it going to start? Screenplay by William Girdler and John Cedar and Thomas Pope. Right, we're off. Right, we're starting off with seeing X-rays of what they think's a tumour, and it turns out this is on Karen Tandy's neck, and they think it's a tumour, but it turns out it's a fetus that's growing there somehow. They can't explain it. They don't know what's going on there. They're having a look. They're checking it out. There we go. And then she's saying, she says it doesn't hurt, but sometimes it seems to move. I've got the goofy paws face. And she's, as it says there, it almost shifts and says it's as though it's like somebody turning over to get comfortable in bed. So that's a clue as to what's going on. Subtitles, I'll stay on there. So anyway, so they're wondering what to do. The doctor, I've forgotten his name. Hang on, I've just finished watching this like 10 minutes ago. Doctor Hughes, I think. No, didn't. Is it? Yeah, I think he's Dr. Hughes. Jack Hughes, and there's another doctor. Is he Dr. McAvoy? I have no idea. So I can't remember the names. You know what I'm like with names. I'm useless. Anyway, they wonder what to do, and then it said, well, we're going to have to cut it out, because he doesn't know what it is, so he's going to think it's a malignant tumour, so he's going to cut it out. So that's what they're planning on doing. So anyway, meanwhile, Karen is going to get in touch with an old friend who we're going to meet now. Tony Curtis as Harry Erskine, when they're finished talking. He was looking at San Francisco, the UFO there. Can you play it? And you can't see it now. It's the Goodyear blimp, but it looks like a UFO there. So we're in San Francisco. And we're seeing the street cars. Health and safety nightmares, what they are. Or they used to be. I bet they're not anymore, are they? Anyway, so we're at Harry Erskine's apartment, where it claims he's a mystic, but he's a bit of a faker, as we say. So he gets old ladies to part with their money, and he reads their tarot cards and foretells the future. and all that. So that's what he's doing here with Mrs. I forgot her name. Mrs. Can't remember. Is it Mrs. Winconis? It might be Mrs. Winconis, that, yeah. So reading her fortune, saying, not much is going to happen. There's a bit of anguish, but not too much. Something heavy is going to land on her foot. Stuff like that. So she pays him, don't know how much. And he sends her packing. Sends her on her way with his mystic motto. Live long the pips, for the fruit shall whatever, and all that. So he does that, and he sends her away. I think he likes he's not a bad person, he's a bit of a con artist, but he's not a bad person, and he is fond of his clients. He has his regular clients that come, and he's fond of them, but he'll still take the money. Of course, that's what he like. There he goes, he's taken his moustache off, stuck it to the wall. He's going to play some disco now. Shall I risk that? We'll risk listening to a bit of his disco. You ready? Here we go. We'll risk that. Got a bit of his disco. Because it's 1978 after all. The height of disco. He's having a beer now because he's funky. Is it disco? Is it funk? I don't know. It's not metal, I know that. So he sits down in his dentist chair. Why has he got a dentist chair? Maybe it's a thing, I don't know. And his phone rings, so he's got to turn his music off. And it's Karen. Karen's phoned him, and she wants to meet him. So they go to the meet. And apparently, I think there used to be an item, but they've not seen each other for quite a while. So here we go. So she's telling him all about what's going on, and that she's scared that she's got this tumour, and they're gonna operate on her. Oh, hang on. Oh, Joshua's here. Apologies for the tard. It's all right. I was a little bit late as well. A couple of minutes. Running a bit late. It's fine. I've only just started. So she's telling him all about what's going on, how scared she is. So obviously they go back to his place and they end up in bed. Oh, well, by the fire. So she's obviously wanting one last hurrah before her operation. But there they are, they're all smiles. Look, she's saying, I've missed you, Harry. So anyway, so she goes back to... they're having a nice day out, by the way. They're having a nice day out. And then they go back to his place, and there they are in dressing gowns, sitting in front of the fire. Oh, no, he's doing a tarot reading, look. But I think... he doesn't like what he's seeing. I can't remember what comes out. Does it show us? Does it show us what comes out? No, he doesn't like what he's seeing. So he doesn't bother. Then what happens? Oh, they're asleep in front of the fire now. They've obviously done the deed. And now they're sleeping in front of the fire. And she starts talking in her sleep, and she starts saying, Pana, Witchy, Salatu. She starts repeating that over and over. And but she doesn't remember it the next day. She's going into the hospital for her operation, and he asks her about it. She doesn't know. She doesn't remember. So they think nothing more of it. So she goes into hospital. They kiss goodbye. There she is. She's got her prepped for surgery. And the doctor is about to make his first incision when her eyes open. All the things got going beep, 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 and her eyes open. And she starts saying the words again. I can't even say it. Bala, Witchy, Manitou, or whatever the hell it is. See if I can... there we go. It's about to cut in. Look, there, eyes go up. And... He cuts himself instead and then throws himself across the room. And so that operation hasn't worked, so obviously that gets cancelled. Meanwhile, Harry's got Mrs. Is it Mrs. Hertz? Yeah, Mrs. Hertz. One of his regulars. She's this old lady who can hardly walk. And she's very humorous. So he's going to do her a reading, but the death card comes up. And as soon as the death card comes up, she goes into like a trance. There you go, there's the death card. Which don't mean death, does it, apparently? Not that I know a lot about tarot cards, but they always say it just means change. Why call it death? There you go. So she goes into a weird trance, and then she starts saying Pala Witchy Manitou, or is it Banner Witchy? I don't know. Witchy Manitou. She starts dancing about, like a Indian medicine man. And anyway, he's on the phone, not in an ambulance. And anyway, she gets up and she goes out of the apartment and starts gliding down the corridor. There you go. And he shouts, Mrs. And then she throws herself, she turns into a stunt person and throws herself down the stairs. And Tony Curtis runs in slow motion. Because for. But anyway, I don't think she's dead. They don't actually mention that she's died. He cradles her and he's all sad and stuff. As I said, he's fond of his clients. But we don't actually. It just says. It's describing it to the doctor later on. He says a client of his threw herself down the stairs. So he don't say she killed herself. So I think she might still be alive. So anyway, so Karen's still in hospital. This is Harry's talking to the doctor, Dr. Hughes. Not Doctor Who, Dr. Hughes. And he's baffled. He doesn't know what to think of it. And Harry mentions this Bala Witchy Manitou thing, and obviously that rekindles his memory of what happened in the operating room, because she said that just before he cut himself. But obviously, they don't want to believe that supernatural things are going on, because he's a scientific man, because he's got a computer in his office. That's a proper computer, is that, isn't it? So then what happens? As I said, he's going to go and find his own help, is Harry. And he says, he shouldn't do anything with Karen, so, he don't promise anything. So Harry goes off to meet his old friend, Stella Stevens, in a minute. He goes to see Karen first, and he asks her about Pala Witchy Manitou. And she just freaks out and screams. And there we go. And that's when he goes to see Stella Stevens, who plays, I can never remember the names of characters, Amelia Crusoe, there we go, in a moment. So here we go. She runs like an occult shop. She's the one, she's his teacher. She taught him everything she knows about the occult. But she said he was her second worst student, and the worst one was a plumber. So anyway, he's telling her all about what's happening with Karen, and Amelia, there she is, decides that it's black magic, and they need to do a séance. So to contact the spirit that has possessed Karen. So they go to, this is Karen's aunt, Mrs. I forgot again. Tell you I'm rubbish. Mrs. Carmen. She's Karen's aunt. I don't know what she's got to do with it. I think she might be paying all Karen's medical bills. I think she's a rich old lady. But I think she's paying all the bills, and later on I think she's going to be paying Michael Ansara when he comes. So I think she's a wealthy old biddy. So they're going to have a séance at her house. For some reason, I don't know why, but they are doing. So they gather around the table and they have this séance, and everything turns green in a minute. There you go. Starts doing incantations. That's MacArthur. That was MacArthur. That. Let's go back a bit. There you go. That's MacArthur. That's he's Amelia's partner. That's Mrs. Carmen, and it was an older lady. I bet she was quite a looker when she was young, wasn't she? She's got, I'm just saying. Right, there you go. Everything turns green, so something's going on. And she kind of gets possessed, and I think she might say it again, Bala Witchy Manitou. But then I think this is the most famous part of the film. The head comes through the table. Here you go. We're watching. Are we ready? Here it comes. There you go. The head rises up through the table and starts talking. But in some language that I don't know. And it sinks back down, and then the window explodes, and they're all thrown about, and lightning. I'm going to see it. Lightning strikes the table. There we go. Cleaves it in two. So I think, crikey, what's gone on there? So anyway, they're all right, even though they've been thrown about. Oddly enough, the last person to check is Mrs. Carmen, the oldest person there. Tony Curtis wants to, get a handful of Stella Stevens, and who wouldn't? And this is when she's convinced it's black magic, so they don't know what they're going to do. So they go back to her shop to raise a cult. And MacArthur's reading a book. Here he is, all about Indian medicine men. Because they said the face that came up, Mrs. Carmen said it reminded her of, like one of those wooden Indian statues that you used to see. She said outside saloons, but you used to see them outside stores as well, didn't you? Like in Creepshow 2, old Woodenhead or whatever they called him. In Creepshow 2. Reminded her of one of them. So they decided to look up Indian medicine men. You can't call them Indians anymore, can you, though? Native American. Can you even call them Native Americans now? Or the first people? Or whatever? I don't know. It's so confusing keeping up with stuff these days. So I was reading a book all about it and said, well, who are we going to see? So he says, why don't we go and talk to the man who wrote the book? And this is Burgess Meredith. So they're heading out over the Golden Gate Bridge, which is in the middle of being painted. Is it always been painted, the Golden Gate Bridge? Is it like the Forth Bridge in Scotland? That's, as soon as they finish painting it, they've got to start again. Is that what the Golden Gate Bridge is like? I don't know, but it looks like it's been painted, doesn't it? So there we go. So they're heading out to see Burgess Meredith. There he is. Who's sceptical of the notion that an actual Indian medicine man is going to be reborn through Karen Tandy. But he's spoken to Dr. Hughes, and Dr. Hughes has said, well, something weird is going on. So he's willing to listen to him. So he tells them about a legend that an Indian medicine man were born of, somebody in a tribe, and the person died. But the medicine man was reborn. So he's saying, well, if this is really happening, then it'll be amazing. We'll be able to talk to an Indian medicine man and say, well, what about Karen? He said, oh yeah, I suppose we better try and save her. So he suggests they get another Indian medicine man to fight the old one, the older Indian medicine man. So see, they are looking through his books and stuff in his dusty old attic. So he says that there still are some, on the reservations. So he goes to see Michael Ansara in a minute. Plays a good part in this, by the way. Does Burgess Meredith, very, quirky, a quirky academic chap. By the way, Stella Stevens. Oh, I've taken too far. Look, where is she? A view of Stella Stevens. Has she been made up to look darker skinned? Cause I've read the book, but I can't remember if Amelia is even in the book. I can't remember how accurate it is to the book. It's that long since I've read it. Is she supposed to be like, I don't know, a darker skinned person, or like olive skinned or whatever? I don't know. Or is Stella Stevens just very tanned when she was doing this film? I can't bloody find her now. Look, there she is. But see her from there. She is. Look. No, you can't see it. Oh, for God's sake. That says very. I should be made up to look, slightly darker skinned. I don't know, but anyway, whatever. Anyway, so he goes off it goes back to the hospital first. And they're going to try and operate on Karen using optical laser. I don't know what other sort of laser there is, but the optical laser to cut off the tumour. But that goes awry because the laser goes mad, and Karen's standing in the corner of the room, possessed by the Indian medicine man, whose name we don't know yet. But there you go, the laser's firing, shooting off. Pew, pew, pew. That's it, go on in. What's he saying that for? I don't know. I think they manage to get hold of her and sedate her so that the medicine man is put to sleep. And she's saying, that they've hurt him, and that the work out that all the X-rays that they've given Karen has damaged the fetus, because he says every time you get an X-ray, you kill cells in your body. And he says on a fetus that's basically just a bundle of cells, when you do an X-ray, the cells that are killed could mean, you could lose a finger or even a whole arm or leg. So he says, we've created a monster. And as we'll see later, that Miss Cumarks does come out deformed because of all the X-rays that they've pumped him full of. He said, we pumped him full of enough X-rays to see through Fort Knox. So off Harry goes to a reservation somewhere. I think they mentioned South Dakota, I think. So he goes to see Michael Ansara. That's not Michael Ansara, that's Michael Ansara's main squeeze, who is called Mrs. Singing Rock. Couldn't even think of a name for her. Portrayed by Tenaya Torres. Anyway, so Michael Ansara is going to come. He's tending to his little patch of land, as we'll see, with his jeans on. And apparently, Michael Ansara almost refused to play John Singing Rock in this film because he learned that an actual, Native American actor was turned down for the role, and but he said he needed the money, so he took the part. But it's Michael Ansara, you can't go wrong, can you? With Michael Ansara, he's a great actor, and he's good in this as well, even though he's wearing a dodgy wig. Anyway, so eventually he agrees to help. He don't really want to help at first, but he does in the end. He wants $100,000 for the Indian Heritage Fund or whatever. And I'm presuming Mrs. Carmen's paying for all this. Because $100,000 is not to be sneezed at, is it? But he just wants a bit of tobacco. That's his fee. So they say, right, fair enough. So off he goes. Off they go to the... He educates Harry about Manitous. This is when we start talking about Manitous now. Everything's got a Manitou, an Indian spirit. It's like a soul, I suppose. And everything's got one. Trees, animals, everything. This microphone, my hat. Everything's got a Manitou. And you can use the power of the Manitous to do things or turn them against each other or turn them against people or whatever. And that's what they do to these Indian medicine men. Right, so off they go. So right, they go to the hospital and he starts doing he's got his bag of tricks with him, and he puts a sand circle around the bed that'll supposedly hold the. Hang on. This kind of feels a bit like Wolfen, another favourite of mine, poor Gregory Hines. I've seen Wolfen, I like that. It's a good film, is that? With I can't remember his name. British actor, but he's playing an American, isn't he? Anyway, yeah, whatever. Is there a way to make these appear on screen? No, there ain't, is there? I bet I've got to pay for the full Streamlabs thing. Anyway, whatever. I don't know. It's a bit like Wolfen, I suppose, a little bit, but They're both, that were from, but that from 1981, so they're round about the same time period, aren't they? But it's good as Wolfen, yeah, it's good. Got Commander Adama in, hasn't it, as well? Telling me names, I can never remember bloody names. Got him in as well. Anyways, well, where was I? John Singing Rock is doing his medicine man stuff, and he starts doing his chants, and there you go. There he's doing his circle of sand. I'm not going to sing. Circle in the sand. There he's doing his stuff. Then Karen's eyes open, and they find out his name. The medicine man starts speaking through her. And he asks, what's your name? He says, in life I was Misquamacus. So apparently he was one of the most powerful medicine men in history. But for some reason, Tony Curtis just keeps calling him the Mix Master. And he actually calls him that in the book. So it's not a Tony Curtis thing. The Mix Master. Very witty. So he's worried now, is John Singing Rock, because Misquamacus is super powerful. They said, mountains rose and fell at his command and stuff like that. He was that powerful. So he'll do it. Says I'll do my best, but he doesn't promise anything. Anyway, he's checking on Karen. A passage of time has happened, and he's checking on Karen. They've got like an orderly or a thing. Oh, there you go. Fella's asking if he's okay, and he says, yeah, he's just checking on Karen. So he asks this nurse or receptionist or whatever the hell she is, she's got something for the stress. And does it say there, can I offer you something? Something for the tension. And she says, she gives him some tablets. I don't know if she names them, but anyway, she gives him some tablets and a glass of water. And I presume you're supposed to dissolve them. He instantly puts them in the water. Maybe he was supposed to swallow them, I don't know, but she doesn't mock him. But they won't dissolve, because of the black magic. It's, remember in the film Warlock when the black magic stopped things happening like that? This is a similar thing. Evil stops tablets dissolving. I suppose it's to signify that there's a change in the world, in this area. A bit like in Prince of Darkness. Then what happens? Oh, yeah, he goes to check on Karen again. He was saying thanks anyway. With his cool jeans on, with his patches. He goes to check on Karen again. But then a bloody face smashes through the glass, as we'll see. See, I've gone too far now. Here we go. Psh, there we go. And he goes, John! And he says, there was a face at the window. There wasn't a face at the window. There was a bloody great face smashing through the glass of the window. Hey. Anyway, John comes and checks, and he says Miss Quamarcus has summoned, the Manitou of whatever, some demon that's stripped the nurse, orderly, whatever, of his skin. And he's coming out now with Miss Quamarcus. He starts emerging from Karen. Here we go. There you go, he's coming out now. Out of Karen's back. Albert Finney, that's who it is, yeah. Albert Finney and Wolf, and yeah, tell me your names. He also played Scrooge, didn't he? There we go. Miss Comarx is coming out. Played by Felix Siller, who's done loads of things. Played Tweaky in Buck Rogers. Oh, he's done everything, hasn't he? Played that robot baby thing in Demon Seed. Edward James Olmos, yes, Commander Adama, yes, he's in it as well. Runs about in the nude, doesn't he, in Wolfen? There's Edward James Olmos. It's a good film, is that? I'll have to do that one. We'll do that one someday. Right, so he plops out, hits the deck, and crawls out and sits up and starts going, hey, a bit stereotypical, but starts going, hey, all that. And John Singing Rock tries to counter him, but obviously he's not powerful enough. So I think he summons a demon, a lizard. He's coming now. He's Dr. Hughes. They get something to cover up that chap that's had his skin ripped off. But it shows him later on. He's supposed to have had his skin removed, but he's still got his eyebrows and his 5 o'clock shadow. So must have thin skin. Maybe it was just the very outer layer. I don't know. Anyway, they're having an argument about what to do. But they've got to, carry on. It's raining, by the way. A dark and stormy night and all that. Here we go. They've got this another one. I think this chap's called Wolf, I think. And he's asleep on the job. He's supposed to be keeping an eye on Miss Quamarcus, but he's asleep on the job. By the way, they think Karen's dead, by the way. And she might be, I don't know, but she comes back later. Spoilers. Anyway, Miss Quamarcus raises up the fella that is skinned. Turns into like a zombie. They're talking about, what they're going to do, blah, blah, blah. But that's, we don't care about them at the moment. We want to see the zombie. So he's doing his concentrating, and up he comes, look, he's raising him up. The fella that is skinned. Here he goes. Look, he's still got his eyebrows, look. He should be all muscle, shouldn't he? Anyway, the wolf wakes up, and there you go. And John does his magic stuff, and I don't know what happens. I think he just falls over, and that's the last we see of him. So, and then Miss Quamarcus makes another demon appear. Oh, he talks to him first, by the way, through Karen. She tells him that he will destroy them, and all that. And then she dies again. Laugh. So anyway, so he's made John Singing Rock is his enemy now. Before he tells him, go back, little brother from the plains. But no, he's his enemy now. And then he makes another demon appear. It's a man in a lizard suit. Are you ready? Here it comes. Hang on. There you go. A man in a lizard suit. It's not a terrible effect, but could be better. There you go. It looks okay, I suppose. Lizard of the trees, that's what they call it. Go on, go off then. There you go. Anyway, it comes over and it bites Dr. Hughes's hand. There you go. Miss Quamarcus makes him hold his hand out and look, fight it. Here it goes. And it bites his hand, and the next time we see his hand, it's all covered in blood. Look. So they get him away, they get him upstairs. By the way, they're on the 10th floor, and his office is up on the, 15th floor or something. So they get him up to his office, and so they start treating him. And this doctor here, Dr. whatever he's called, he says he's going to take charge, he's going to call the police and stuff. But Dr. Hughes tells him, no, listen to Harry, he knows what he's talking about. So they've got to go back. I think John Singing Rock's still down there trying to defeat Miss Quamarcus. So anyway, John Singing Rock goes back down. He's got a torch with him. Don't know why. Maybe he's expecting the lights to go off. When he comes out of the elevator, everything's all frozen. It's like a winter wonderland. There you go. And it turns out the Star Beast has done that. Some demon that makes everything freeze. You think they call it the Freeze Beast, wouldn't you? But no, the Star Beast. And we see that the nurse at the reception's all frozen. Hang on, if I can get her. Oh, you can just see her there. Hang on, I'll move that over. There she is in the corner there. Can you see her? There she is, look. There she is. She's frozen solid, poor lass. Hey. Obviously dead. And Misco Marcus has gone. Oh, by the way, he opened up the the sand line. He used his mind powers and broke the circle. Have a drink. So he can do what he wants now, can Misco Marcus, but for some reason he stays on this floor. I don't know why. John Singerock says he sent a load of surgical instruments into his face, so he's got all cuts on his face. And actually, I think he's supposed to look older as well, I think. I don't know, but... So they go and patch up John Singerock, or they're going to go. See, they come back out. Oh, she's there, all frozen. But then Misco Marcus appears, and everything all explodes. Here he is, look. Other Manitou's helpers. Oh, I've forgotten. He sent Harry through the nurse. Let's see if we can get that. There we go. It's a demon we call the Star Beast. Shivering. He goes, explodes out of this door, and Harry gets sent flying into that nurse. There we go. I think it's Harry, or is it John? I can't remember. No, it's Harry, look. And her head comes off, because she's frozen solid, look. Not like a good decapitation. So she's not coming back, is she? She shouldn't have given him duff tablets earlier on in the film. But Harry defeats him by throwing a typewriter at him. John's saying, I can't do anything. So Harry picks up a typewriter and wangs it at Misco Marcus. There we go. Chuck. Screams, and for some reason it explodes in midair. There you go. But apparently it caught him by surprise. The typewriter's Manitou, he wasn't expecting it. And caught him by surprise. So it gives them a chance to escape. So they'll go start patching up John. And he don't know what to do now. He's stumped for ideas. Misco Marcus is too powerful. And Harry says, well, I've just beaten him with that typewriter. So Harry has the idea that why not turn on all the electrical equipment and use that power to direct it at Misco Marcus. But he's sceptical, is John. But before that happens, we have a big, massive earthquake. Hang on, let's have a look. Here we go. Everything all starts shaking. Look. But apparently it's not an earthquake. It's Misco Marcus summoning the old one, which is like the devil. There you go. So it's obviously on a gimbaled stage, isn't it? I bet that was fun. Feels like it's all actually moving about, isn't it? There you go. Bit of fun for the crew. So they said, right, so we've got to do this. And it's got all the electrical equipment in the hospital can all be controlled through that big computer that he's got in his office. So they're going to turn everything on, and John Singerock's going to try and use his medicine man powers to direct all the energy at Misco Marcus and the old one, as we'll see. So he said, give us 5 minutes, and we'll head down there. Oh, yeah, down there to floor 10. And then turn everything on. So he says, okay, I'll do that. So he tells this chap to get everybody out. So he's doing that. They're taking the stairs now. Maybe they don't trust the elevators, maybe, I don't know. Because since everything was shaking about. Don't use elevators during an earthquake, do you? That's common sense. Not that we get many earthquakes in Yorkshire. We did get one once, though. A few years ago, there was a bit of a rumble, and I thought, ooh, what was that? Turned out it was an earthquake. A minor tremor. Anyway, so they head back here. And they look through a door. Oh, they go up to it, and a fireball comes out the door. In a minute. You ready? Here it comes. When you're ready. Come on, get on with it. Oh. And they look through the door. There's all stars, because it's turned into a space film now. It's gone all sci-fi. But Karen's still there on the bed. But the room's gone. And Miss Marcus is floating about, and the great old one appears as a big, scary, weird eye effect thing. I don't know what the hell it's supposed to be. That's checking the time. It's 5 minutes. All the equipment's going to be turned on. So John starts doing his stuff, and he says, Manitous of all the equipment, kill Miss Marcus, send him back from whence he came. But it doesn't do anything. But all the sparks start happening. That's the great old one. We see him as, like I say, it's like an eye, isn't it? I don't know. Send Miss Marcus back, take my pain. Oh, take my pain. Take my load, Weck. Send him back. Oh, wording now. We're on wording. So he's turning the power up, is the doctor. And we see all sparks and stuff in a minute. Get rid of wording. And hang on, see, I've gone too far again. There we go. We've got all sparks coming out, and then all the doctor. He thinks I better get out of here, but he's not fast enough, as we'll see. Just a minute. 10 minutes. There we go. Got sparks coming out now. Bzzz, look, a Terminator's coming. Machine Manitous, direct your power. Ooh, look, it's all fizzing and sparking. Cool. I better make sure I'm doing a lot of. Make sure we're not being stopped. No, we're fine. We're fine. So I don't want to miss anything, so I've got to keep playing in little excerpts. So says no. Then he thinks, I'm going to run away, but the machine Manitous have other ideas. Bzz, and then he blows up. There we go. Cool. Not like a good person blowing up effect. But John can't do it. He's not strong enough. And Mr. Marcus is laughing, look. He's just laughing in the face of poor John Singing Rock. I think they're done for. But then Harry says they were not. So he's going to have a go. He's Harry. Not that laughing. Not that laughing. So he says, Miss Marcus, I've had enough of you, mister. And I think because Harry stands up to Miss Marcus, because he's, he says it's white man's magic, there's John Singing Rock. I think this film would have, it'd be cancelled, wouldn't it, these days? Maybe that's why you can't get it. I think because he stands up, and I think through him he becomes like a channel and to Karen, and Karen suddenly sits up, and she starts directing the. I don't know why it's her. I don't know why, but she sits up. Here we go. The machine are focusing their power through Karen for some reason. It's just an excuse to see Susan Strasberg, with no top on. There we go. So she sits up. Got to be careful here now. And she starts using laser beams. Here we go. Are you ready? So, hey, lasers. Bzzz, pew. That's Miss Marcus done for. Now she's got to deal with the great old one. So they have a little battle. He throws asteroids at her. Misses every time. He must be a stormtrooper. And oh crikey! See, I've got to be careful here. But she's still summoning the powers of the machines. You see, bzzz, pew, pew, lasers. And there you go. Fireballs coming. Oh, it's exciting. We start getting asteroids in a minute. Cool. So this goes on for a minute or two. You're throwing fireballs and asteroids, and she's zapping her lasers. Nude lady zapping lasers, and then when she gets him, his power bar obviously went down to 0. Here we go. That's the final one. Bzzz, and it turns into like something from Buck Rogers or 2001. And she's sent the great old one packing. And everything goes back to normal. Dead bodies lying about and stuff. But Karen's okay now. And we see her. Where is she? God's sake. There you go. So they're all happy. It's all done with, apart from all the dead people. But they're smiling. And she's alive. And they've defeated Miss Quamacus. So another passage of time, and it's time for John Singing Rock to go home. There we go. They're coming out. He's getting in the taxi. And Harry says, for some reason, it's a bit of a shame that we had to defeat Miss Quamacus, because I'd have liked to have talked to him. And John Singing Rock says, well, maybe we'll meet him again. And Harry says, no, but we killed him. He says, no, he didn't kill him. We killed the body. But the Manitou lives on. So he could come back. And he does come back in Return of the Manitou. But that's hasn't been made into a film. For some reason, only one of Graham Masterton's books has been made into a film. Weird. All those dozens of books he's written, only one's been made into a film. So anyway, so he's heading back. Harry gives him his tobacco, and off he goes. Goodbye, Harry Erskine. There's other books with Harry Erskine in, by the way, by Graham Masterton. Return of the Manitou, and others. I've forgotten. I've read one, I can't remember. I think Tengu might be. The doctor, he copped for it, didn't he? And then it ends on a fact. It comes on. There you go. So he goes, and then we get there we go, a text card, and it says facts. I'm going to have to shrink that down so you can see it. Hang on, I'm not on that. Hang on, I'm trying to get rid of that. Goodbye, Harry Erskine. There you go. Where are we? Fact. It says fact, so it must be Tokyo, Japan, 1969. A 15-year-old boy. Hang on, I still can't see the bloody thing. A 15-year-old boy. There we go. Developed what doctors thought was a tumour in his chest. The larger it grew, the more uncharacteristic it appeared. Eventually, it proved to be a human fetus. Is that a fact? I don't know. That's what it says. I was going to check it, and I forgot. Shall we check it now? Hang on, let's see. Let's look it up. I'll do some typing here now. Are you ready? Japanese boy with... How do you spell fetus? Fetus. No, I spelt it wrong. Fetus in chest. Right. Oh, here we go. Right. Right. So it is a thing. Right. Where are we? It says here 1980. Oh, right. Go away. Tell you all bloody pop-ups. Oh, it's a site you've got to sign up to. But that was 1980. A 17-year-old boy found it was actually an abnormal fetus. Probably the youth twin sibling that he had carried since birth. But that's in China. No, I don't know. But that's probably what they're talking about. Something along those lines. A fetus in... What is it? Fetus in fetu or something they call it. Fetus in fetu. Where you have a twin that grows inside you. I bet it's one of those. I bet it's an example of that. Anyway, and that's the end of the film. So, there you go. Then we just get the end credits. There you go, yeah. So, yeah, I do like it's one of my... Is it a guilty pleasure? Could it be classed as a guilty pleasure? Or is it just a genuinely good film? I don't know. But I like the Manitou. I watch it quite regularly, even though I can never remember anybody's names. But you know what I'm like with names. But I do really like it. It's one of those films that I'll watch again and again. A bit like The Prophecy. I like watching that one as well. Not the Christopher Walken Prophecy. The one with... that big mutant bear in it. I like watching that one as well. That's another guilty pleasure. It's another one we might do. So we'll leave it there for the Manitou. As I said, I like Graham Masterton books. He's written dozens of books. But I've only read, a handful of them. And as I said, I did that treatment, script treatment of Devils of D-Day. And sorry, my cat. What's she up to? Are you wanting attention? Eh? What are you doing? Where was I? Oh, I did that Devils of D-Day script treatment, which is on the channel. I've put the link in the description. Me reading it out, and as I said, Graham Masterton actually liked it. I sent it to him, and he liked it, but because of rights issues, he couldn't do anything about it. It's out of his hands, but he did like it. But that's the end of the Manitou. So we'll leave it there. So thanks for watching. Thanks for the messages. Thanks for the chats, Joshua. I can't reply, and I don't know how to make them show up on screen. I think maybe I've got to buy the full version of Streamlabs or something. I don't know. There must be a way, but I don't know what it is. No, it's not doing anything when I click on stuff, so I don't know. Right, so we'll leave it there, as I said, for third time. So thanks for watching. Wherever you are in the universe, look after each other. Don't have nightmares. And until next, what was that? Oh yeah, sorry, I'm looking at something else. Don't have nightmares. And until next time, I'll see thee.